Hey there guys, today I have something really special for you guys. Today we're taking a look at Fortnite running on RDNA 2. That's right, I managed to actually get my hands on a Zephyrus 14 thanks to the help of some friends, and I've been testing the iGPU on it. Now it comes with a DGPU, it's the AMD RADEON 6700S, but I've completely disabled the DGPU and we're only using the iGPU. Now MSI Afterburner does not seem to read the GPU usage properly here, because you're going to see it fluctuate all over the place. I have tested it and verified that for sure the integrated graphics is what's being used and it's not any dedicated graphic. And I had to verify this because I was blown away by this level of performance. Now we are currently running the game at 1080p. This is with the lowest possible settings with the performance API. And we're hitting some pretty high averages here. Now the 1% lows are struggling a bit here. Really in general, Fortnite seems to have a 1% low issue a lot of the time, but it really seems to be very prevalent here because, I mean, in terms of averages, we are getting some high refresh rate levels of performance here. And there's no way that we're CPU limited in any kind of way. I mean, the R9 6900HS is not going to be a limiting factor here whatsoever, but you will see that there are moments where the frame times do spike up. Now, one thing that I will note is that the AMD APU tuning utility has not been fully updated to support the AMD 6000 series of CPUs. Really, it's at this point, it only has experimental support, which means that there are no profiles or anything like that. You would have to manually mess with all of that yourself. I'm personally not going to be doing that anytime soon. I really don't want to mess up the hardware here. I'm going to wait for professionals to do that for me. So perhaps with some tuning, we might be able to actually level out those 1% lows. But so far, going off of the averages that we're seeing here, this is going to be an insane experience. And I'm actually so happy to see that RDNA 2 is performing as well as it is, but it is a real shame that right now you cannot get your hands on this without it being paired with a dedicated graphics card. And that's my biggest issue with how things are going to be shaping out for the rest of the year. This is great levels of performance that is going to be locked away for pretty much almost every system that it's going to be on, because realistically, if it wasn't for my interest in the iGPU here in and of itself, I would not be playing this game with these settings. I would just be playing the game with the dedicated graphics. But in this situation, I mean, I was really interested in testing out the APU because this is going to show us what the next generation of integrated graphics are going to be like, because RDNA 2 is essentially going to be like what Vega was, where it is going to be the architecture that's going to be used on here for the foreseeable future. And I mean, at least on paper, this should be more powerful than the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck has the 8-core RDNA 2 GPU paired with 4-core 8-thread Zen 2 CPUs. Meanwhile, this is a 12-core RDNA 2 GPU. This is paired with 8 Zen 3 Plus cores. So that's 16 threads in total, and of course we have a higher power budget than what this Steam Deck is going to allow. So while it's still early on and there's clearly some, things that need to be worked out here, this is very promising performance. And I mean, getting a Steam Deck right now is going to be pretty much impossible, at least for me. I really wish I had placed a pre-order for a Steam Deck, but I mean, at the time I wasn't even doing, this stuff, so I had no real justification for getting it. Now it would have made more sense, but this is a nice consolation prize, especially because if we're being honest, I just have no interest in playing games on Linux. I just really don't. I don't want to deal with the headaches of trying to get games to just work. And I understand that Proton and all of these other different, things exist to try to make the experience better, but that just goes to show just how much of an issue you're probably going to run into, especially in these kinds of games that have very aggressive anti-cheat. But really what I want to do with this chip is I really want to start testing it out on a bunch of different games. So I think what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be doing a big list of just games that are going to be tested on here and on the 5500U. And we're going to be doing a huge comparison between the two. So if videos slow down for the next day or two, it's pretty much because of that. But I think it's going to be really worth it. I just really wanted to put this out there because I am very excited to try this out. Obviously the 1% lows aren't amazing here. They could definitely use some work, but I think it's going to be very interesting, especially when we compare it directly with the 5500U. I really want to see how it compares to essentially just like Vega. Has the hype been worth it? And so far it really is seeming like that, but we'll see in the full video later on. I will see you guys next time.